Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Hamburg. Moin Moin, as we say here. Welcome to the Fab City Hamburg, and welcome to the Design Zentrum here at the Hafen City. My name is Manuel. I will be your host for the next 2 days, majorly. I'm part of the Interfacer team, and I'm very, very happy to see many of you already. We expect even more guests throughout the day, but I think we are very, very good and well set for kicking off this event. So first of all, actually, I would be interested in seeing who's around, so where you come from. So actually, I please ask you to raise your hand, anyone who came in from Hamburg or around. That can't be true. Really? Okay, so quite a strong local community. So what about Germany? Great. What about beyond Germany, let's say Europe? That's great. And I think we even have some special friends from the Ukraine coming over, which is really, really highly welcome. Xenia and your friends. Who are the Ukrainian friends? Cool. Thank you very much for being around today. So what about beyond Europe? Anyone outside Europe? Well, so really, really a global event, I would say. Great. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that you come over to celebrate this event with us. I think it will be very interesting 2 days. And actually, we're really overwhelmed by the interest into this event. So already I want to apologize that at some point in time it might feel a bit cozy for the one or the other of you, but it's like planning a party, right? Usually you are afraid that no one would show up, and then at one or the other point you would need a security guy at the front door. But anyway, I think more people is always better, and I think we can make it happen in this place. Anyway, back to business. First of all, let me state that I feel a little bit embarrassed with this strong statement of the title, The Future of Making. It feels a bit overstated on the first view, also a bit, I don't know, Elon Muskish, right? And usually I don't like that kind of statements. Anyway, who came up with the title anyway? No one knows? It was myself? Oh, sorry, sorry. Okay, but let's see how I can get this right. And I think majorly there are basically two reasons why I still think that this title fits. And actually, this morning I learned about a third one. Actually, Hamburg is now the European City of the Future 2023. Never heard of that initiative. I don't know how they came up with it. Maybe even we are part of that decision process, right? But if such an initiative can say 2023, Hamburg is the European city of this year and the future city, then we could even argue that we are part of this with our event, right? But more importantly, looking at the topics we are dealing with in the different kind of settings we have. We have keynotes, we have the Maker Expo, really physical artifacts, open hardware. We even set up a small factory that I would really invite you to visit and check out what's happening there. And a very important point for me, if I look around and talk to people already, is the aspect of networking, right? And if you actually have a look at it, who's around, it's more than 200 people today and tomorrow from more than 90 organizations from actually really all over the place and even globally, right? So this is just a rough idea. It's not anyone there. We actually have a list of the institutions that will be around at the entry and also here. So if you need some kind of matchmaking or introduction, just get in touch with us. So all the Orga people do have a blue card. We will try to get in touch with you. You will have plenty of time for matchmaking and talking to each other. So I think in the end, it's worthwhile saying that this event deserves the title, Future of Making, looking at these diverse people from all over the place, the different communities, and also we could resemble that we are actually, as the community here around, will shape the future of making. So this is why I, after all, think that the title is suitable. Just a rough organizational part on the program today. Today we majorly have presentations and results presentation of the Interfacer project itself. And tomorrow is more a community day where many new topics like circular design, the Open Toolchain Foundation, and also community meetups with a large demo session in the afternoon will happen. So we really invite you to join the full days and be part of it. So I really, really want to thank you all for coming over. I really, really want to invite you to get inspiration, to get in touch with people and discuss and plan future projects and collaborations. that's actually from my side for this point. Before we really go into the details, I would like to invite Professor Wulfsberg actually to address some welcome remarks to us, because he's the chair of Institute of Production Engineering at Helmut Schmidt University, and without him we would all not sit here. Thank you for coming, thank you for your time, and I'll hand over to you.
Thank you for this kind introduction. So I had to change my words sometimes, so these are my notes for now. Welcome to everybody. It's very difficult for me to introduce or to welcome every organization or every person, because you see how many organizations are here from all over the world. So welcome to everybody, to the creatives, to the drivers of innovation, to the visionaries, to the maybe rescuer of the world. You are the enabler of the future of making for yes, let me say, a different, successful prosperity in the future. It's maybe not, it's not boring, but maybe you cannot hear all these crises which we have, these multidimensional synchronous crisis which we have. In the past, we had one crisis after the other. Financial crisis, oil crisis, and so on. From the end of the Second World War, we had about, I think, 13 or 15 crises, Wikipedia says. More or less big crises, but one after the other. And now we have these parallel, multidimensional crises and problems, political crisis, the war in the Ukraine, pandemics, broken supply chains, the requirements for sustainability, the human-made climate change which we have to face or which we have to reduce, the feeding of the world's population, national demographic changes in Germany and other countries, in the one direction, in Africa in the other direction, you name it, many crises at the same time. So there is still, let me say, hope that the governments, the politicians can solve these crises. The United Nations, or which we have more and more in the politics, special representatives, which have the the order or the task to do something against these crises. Or maybe there is a solution from the industry or industrial associations, maybe from lobbyists, and that they can solve these multidimensional challenges and crises. Is it a hope or is it an illusion? We can discuss it. I'm old enough to say that I think in many cases it's an illusion that they can solve these crises. So we need other players to handle it, to handle the future characterized by the role of openness and the willingness to really change the world. And this is why we are here. And this is why this Interfacer project is of tremendous importance. It's a kind of booster for the Fab Lab movement. We all know what operating systems, how important operating systems, how important they are for our computers or smartphones and so on. And to transfer this idea to the world of Fab Labs and to have the target to create a new product development and production system which can go in competition to the traditional industry-based production systems. This is really a very, very impressive goal, which is developed or which development is running on in the Interfacer project. So we will see the results of this project. We will see what connected cities locally, production in cities which are globally connected can contribute for the solution of these multidimensional challenges and crises. So be curious and enjoy it in these 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Wulfsberg. Next up, I'm sorry why my screen is going out. There we go. Okay, thank you, Professor Wulfsberg. Next up, we have Tobias Redlich. Tobias is the overall project lead and will give us some general introduction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Manuel. 540 days ago, we met, maybe in a bit smaller group, but comparable, a few steps away from here. And this was when we were kicking off this Interfacer project, right? And we stated back then that we want to turn Hamburg into a living laboratory. A living laboratory because we wanted to start a huge experiment. This experiment was not less than really experimenting or testing a new economic model. And this new economic model, we will talk about this later today and tomorrow, is about including a distributed development, innovation, production, and co-creation. And this is what the Interfacer project is all about. What does it mean to me? It's about providing the digital infrastructure for the future production systems we want to see in our fab cities in future. It's about digitalization of business processes, innovation of business models, and more abstract, it's about empowerment, it's about participation in value creation, it's about transparency and data security. And the Interfacer project is a complementary project to another big project we all talk about these days, which is called the Fab City project. Fab cities including fab labs, machinery, products. On the one hand side, they represent the physical infrastructure of fab cities, right? And the digital infrastructure I'm talking about is represented what is one outcome of this project here, the Fab City operating system. So it's about the digital and physical infrastructure. Looking at the physical infrastructure, we already made big progress in the past. Even before we started this project, 500 days ago, we made Hamburg a Fab City together with the Fab City Hamburg Association. And this was only the start. Until now, during this period, we even set up many more Fab City locations here in Hamburg alone, which are open labs for textile and circularity, food and agriculture, medtech, the open lab port, and the Fab City House, to name a few. And we could accomplish this only by partnering with strong and excellent partners, and most of them are here today, and I'm really happy to see you. And together with these partners in these places, combined with this digital infrastructure we will talk about, we are now able to exercise and to test and to train this new economic model. Also for the infrastructure, we are developing with another strong partner here, and you will be able to visit this pop-up factory today, the open source machinery, which is a fundamental part of this infrastructure. And that is needed in such an environment as we see it with fab cities. So you're invited to go and see the developments of the machinery that are part of this physical infrastructure. So we established this new production institute, which is an institute that came out of the Institute of Production Engineering that is chaired by Professor Wulfsberg. And it's located at the Helmut Schmidt University. And we are now researching with about 25 interdisciplinary researchers the question how a sustainable, resilient, participative production and value creation may look like in the future in an urban environment like fab cities. And we are not only alone with this institute, we have all these partners and the community, and I'm really happy to have that. We are partnering with 5 universities in Hamburg alone and internationally. And I'm really pleased to see the outcomes of the Interfacer project today and tomorrow. And I want to say thank you to everyone who contributed to the project so far, especially Manuel and the team, to providing us with such an excellent conference. Thank you.